Hello friends and welcome to Valentine's Day. Today is the 13th of February, so hello as of today. And it is officially Valentine's Day. I think today is such a lovely idea, all about the gals, but I also wanted to wish you a happy Valentine's Day for tomorrow because you know what? Valentine's Day gets a lot of bad flack, but I do think there's still some lovely ideas behind it. I love the idea. I thought this was the best thing. So a little flashback to my childhood. I loved making those little tiny mailboxes and then walking around and dropping my little Valentines in everybody's little mailbox in our classroom. I thought that was so great. I mean, I only did it from like kindergarten to like 4th or 5th grade. But those are some really good memories I have of Valentine's Day. And I know it's pushed as like a consumer holiday, but to be honest, I think there's so much you can do about Galentine's Day or Valentine's Day that is just all about love and care and thinking about the people around you. I do have to say one thing. I don't think Valentine's Day should be used as the only day to get your partner or friend something special. I love the idea of just getting flowers for somebody just for the fun of it, or getting somebody chocolates because you're thinking about them. I just think Valentine's Day is a great way to kind of encourage, to show love and care to some of the people around us. So that's just my opinion, but today is actually going to be quite exciting because we are celebrating kind of Galentine's Day and Valentine's Day in a book and baking mashup. So I have gone ahead and baked some delicious treats and I've found matches. That's a better way to say it. I have found some great matches to some books that kind of connect to these baked goods. I do have to say it's not all like because these baked goods were mentioned in these books and that's why I made them and chose these books. It's more the feeling of the books and the feeling these baked goods give me. So I'm really excited about today's video. I think it's going to be really cute. It's just a quick little tiny video, but I love the idea of meshing my two favorite things, baking and books, and then creating this like beautiful little harmony. So it's kind of like a Valentine's Day for baking and books, which I think is super cute. So I hope you guys are excited. I'm really excited. We're gonna jump right in, but first I wanted to say, hey, hello. If you're new here, my name is Melissa, and you find yourself at Melissa's Cozy Corner, where we talk about books, baking, and other cozy content. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I love having you guys part of this lovely little community that we're building, and I think we are just a cozy little group and I love it so much. Make sure you guys like this video if you do like it. It does help me a ton, and if you're not subscribed, I recommend subscribing. I mean, I think the other subscribers would recommend you subscribe too, but that's just my, I'm just saying. So let's go ahead and jump right in because we're losing light. It's getting dark outside. And we're gonna go ahead and start with some classic whimsical, lovely books to read during this Valentine's weekend that we have at the moment. So, do you guys wanna see my baked good first, or do you wanna hear about the books first? Because I have 3 books recommended for each kind of sector that I have. So we have 3 areas. We have whimsical and classic. We have self-love and fun and cutesy, cozy. And then we also have our, like, not classic romance in the sense of classics, but kind of like your true love moment kind of books as well. So we have those 3 types of books, and we have a baked good for each book. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the baked good. You can guess which baked good goes with which topic. And of course, by the time you post it down in the comments, I've already said it, but maybe you want to pause and do it just for the fun of it. Just make it a game, I guess. So the first baked good, I'm gonna go ahead and share, and it's not classical and whimsical. So I just mentioned all of the genres of books that I'm going to be talking about. But the first cookie I'm sharing are these beautiful heart-shaped cookies. Normally I write like go love yourself on them, or I love dogs, or anything like that. I normally do a little text writing, but unfortunately I could not find my stamps this year. So there's no stamps, but I still find these cookies so cute and so adorable. They are sugar cookies, simple sugar cookie recipe that's been stamped out. I add then a jam underneath, so I mix a little bit of water and a little bit of jam. This is cherry jam, I believe. And then I make marzipan hearts. So I mix some food coloring. This one is a red and pink food coloring that I've mixed together in some marzipan, rolled it out, and used the exact same stamps I used for the cookies. And I cut them out and stuck them on top using the jam and water as kind of my glue to glue them together. And then when I have my stamps, I normally just stamp a couple words in them, like I love dogs, I love cats, go love yourself, and you're awesome. So I have a bunch of fun little texts I like to put on them for kind of a self-love idea. So these ones are some of my favorite cookies I like to make. I make them every Valentine's Day just for my coworkers or my partner's coworkers because it's a great way to show self-love and self-care, which is kind of the tip or clue to which books we're going to be talking about. And that's going to be kind of like our self-love, self-cozy, just the books that are going to give us a lot of love and care in the sense of something just good to read, a feel-good book. And some of these you guys are already going to know, so I do apologize for repeats, but I think they're all still very great. Like Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. If you have not read this one, I'm sorry because you probably have heard from so many people to read it. And this is about a youngish, we actually don't know her age. She's retired. She was a retired bounty hunter. Her name is Liv, and she is opening up a cafe in this small little town. This town has never heard of coffee. So she's going to be opening a cafe in this little town, and she's going to be having a cute little cafe where she's going to offer so many delicious types of coffees. She has herself a fancy espresso machine, and she is building the shop from the ground up. She also gets to meet some wonderful characters. It's just a very cozy book. It's so fun, and I fell in love with this. I fell in love with the characters. There is a prequel, but you don't have to read the prequel. You can just read Legends and Lattes. I absolutely love this book. We have Liv, we have her baker, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to bake and do this video, is because we have one of our characters in this book who is just the baker. They bake everything, and I absolutely love it. So they go ahead and bake, like, I forgot what they're called, but there's actually a recipe in the end of the book. Thumblets. And they're kind of biscotti. They're the ones that you dip inside your coffee. They're actually cute and adorable. However, I did just learn biscotti in Italian is pretty much any cookie. But I'm talking about the ones that you're going to dip directly in your coffee. They're crunchy, they're delicious, and they're wonderful. I did not make biscotti, I'm sorry, but I did make these heart-shaped cookies because I thought self-love, doing the things that you find wonderful, and I think these match perfectly with Liv from our Legends and Lattes book from Travis Baldree. The next book I'm going to talk about from this self-love is Under the Tuscan Sun by Frances Mayers. If you don't know Under the Tuscan Sun, it is about a woman who kind of goes out and re-finds herself, and I think this is such a good self-help book. There is some love in the book, of course, but I do think there is a very strong and intense kind of feeling of self-love, learning to re-love yourself, and learning to find your passions and the things you really enjoy. So I really, really love Under the Tuscan Sun. I've also seen the movie multiple times. I absolutely love the movie, and I think this is just a wonderful story, especially if you're looking for that repassion to refire your passion. I think this is a perfect book for that kind of thing. I really loved it. I think it's so sweet, and it's one of those books where you're going to feel like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna also do something crazy and move across the world just for the fun of it. You never know, you could do it. So that's another cozy self-love book. The next one is a little bit of a different one, and a reason I chose it is because it's all about food and drink and enjoying food and drink, and that's Between Meals by A.J. Liebling. This is a book about a man who goes to Paris, and he just writes about all the food and drink he has there. I think it's such a lovely idea. It's definitely very different, but it's again finding the pleasures in all those small things and making sure you love the little things. Valentine's Day doesn't have to be about showing love to somebody. It can also be showing love to yourself. And I think that's such a lovely idea. It's so wonderful. If you have not read this, I highly recommend it. It is a little bit different, so do be prepared. It is not like Under the Tuscan Sun or Legends and Lattes. It's going to be more probably towards your classical writing, but I thought this would fit way better in this section because it's all about loving food, loving drink, and just kind of enjoying those little things, which I think is such a lovely idea. And maybe if you have no plans for Valentine's Day, maybe you can treat yourself, make yourself some cute little sugar cookies with little hearts, or you can actually just make them really simple and just make sugar cookies and enjoy them and find them delicious. So those are my 3 recommendations for kind of that self-love, self-focused, finding your passion and enjoying the small things and cozy reading. Our next cookie or bake, if you would say, is going to be these adorable little puff pastry letters. So I went ahead and made some puff pastry letters. I filled the inside with jam and a few blueberries, and then I put a little tiny heart of puff pastry on the front to seal my letter. These are so cute, they're so easy to make, and I had so much fun making them. And if you could imagine what we would be using letters for, why we would find letters adorable on Valentine's Day, as I kind of did a little flashback to my childhood, I loved putting little Valentine's Day cards inside my friends and my classmates' little mailbox that we made in school, and I thought it was always so fun. But I also really love writing letters to friends, and I love sending letters. I love the idea of this older kind of idea of sitting down, spending the time to actually show a friend love and care, or a family member love and care, by taking the time to actually handwrite a letter and taking the time to actually take it to the mailbox. So again, that was a little hint to the types of books that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about a little bit more classic, whimsical love books. And you probably already know some of these. I'm guessing you actually know all of them, but I wanted to talk about them real fast because they're classics, and I don't think you can ever go wrong with a classic. The first one is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Most of you, I'm guessing, know about Pride and Prejudice and kind of understand the back idea and the theme of this book. The theme is love. We follow our 2 characters, Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, and we follow their kind of love-hate relationship, this battle of what's going to actually happen to them. If you haven't seen the films, I am surprised, and if you have not read the book, I highly recommend it. This is a perfect classic for this time of year. For this season, it is just full of spunk and whimsicalness and whimsiness, can I say? And it's just one of those books where you're not going to be able to put down. Some people absolutely love it, some people absolutely hate it. It's kind of one of those books that is just, you could love it or hate it, and it's worth the risk to pick it up. So I highly recommend this one, especially if you're looking for a classic full of love, full of letters, and full of passion and whimsicalness. I'm going to keep saying whimsicalness because I can't think of the right words for it, but this is definitely one of those classics that you're going to love on Valentine's Day or Valentine's Day. Another classic that I think many of you have heard of and many of you have loved or have read or maybe have not read but seen the films is Little Women by Louise May Alcott. This one is one of those books that is still self-love, but I think there's another type of love in this book, and that's the love between these sisters. You have all these sisters that are living in this house. They're growing up and they're also trying to find themselves. Some of them do find love, and that's absolutely wonderful. And some of them also find the love and passion in their jobs or in their, just in general in their life. And there are, again, so many little moments where you feel like you're pulled back into the past. You're watching these girls interact, you're watching them live their life, and the idea of them writing letters to each other or writing letters to their loved ones, I just really, really love that. And so that's one of the reasons This book is the reason I ended up baking these little treats, because I thought they actually go absolutely perfect together, because you have the letters of love and you have the Little Women. And this is just such a sweet book. I highly recommend it. And if you haven't picked it up, you should. And the last one, again, about love, but it's more of a different type of love, and that's The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This is one of my favorite books. I love the film from 1993. I believe it's from 1993. I used to watch that film so often when I was growing up, and this is just so, so sweet. Again, because these are classics, do remember that some of them are a little bit outdated, so don't forget about that. But you follow this lovely little girl who is just trying to express her passion for being outdoors, and she's trying to encourage her friend to kind of take the step outside, even though he's pretty much locked away. He shouldn't be going outside. He's sick all the time. And this little girl is just trying to be like, hey, there's really beautiful things. You don't have to be afraid of anything. So you have this love between these two characters, and it's a different type of love. It's the love of wanting to share things with one another. We may not have a lot of letter writing in this one, but it is a classic. It's filled with wonderful, beautiful imagery, and it's just a sweet, sweet book. So again, if you haven't picked this one up, it's a really great one, and it's really short, it's really easy to read, and I love this edition as well. So those are our classics. We've talked about self-love, we've talked about whimsical classics. I'm guessing you already know what the last one is, but let's go ahead and share the cookie real fast. These cookies may not be loved by everybody because of what's on top of them, but I think they're absolutely adorable. And it's another little sugar cookie, but I've gone ahead and done a lemon glaze right on top, a lemon sugar glaze, and then I've added a couple dried flower petals right on top. There are purple little dried flower petals. I love adding flowers to the tops of my cookies because I think they make them look so cute and so just fun and adorable. So what do we have left? Classic love. And I don't read love stories very often. I'm not the biggest fan of like classic romance, but there are a few types of romances that I've really fallen in love with. These three books I have definitely talked about on my channel before, but they're the type of love stories I really, really love reading about. The first one is a little bit of a different one, and it's All That's Left in the World by Eric Brown. This one is definitely not like your classic love story, but the love story that's in it is truly beautiful. And I love the communication between the characters. I love the relationship between the two characters. This follows two male characters who are living in a world that has been hit by an apocalypse, and there's not many people left, and they're just trying to survive. They're just trying to get to a new town where other people live, and you have this wonderful communication happening between these two characters, and they start off not knowing each other at all, and then we watch the relationship between them build and become something more. It is truly, truly lovely. Like I said, I love the communication between these characters because it's so real and it's so positive and it's so just real. I just don't know what else to say about it, but truly it's one of those books where I felt like I couldn't put down. I was so curious as to what was going to happen with them. They didn't have to end up together in the end. It was more I just wanted to see and hope that they ended up somewhere. So if you've not read this one, I highly recommend it. And now you get to figure out if they end up together in the end or not, because that is the question. But no matter what, it's a truly lovely story, and the love story in here of these two people just trying to find happiness again in a world where there's no happiness left was just really, really great. The next one is one I have talked about before again, and that's The Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley. I don't read these books very often, like I mentioned, but this one was also really, really sweet. I loved, again, the communication between these two characters. We have fake dating, which is something I generally don't like reading about, but the idea behind it actually worked. I didn't feel like it was like, oh, I have to fake date my coworker because we have to go somewhere together. I don't know. But this one was more, we have a witch who is terrible at magic, who accidentally summons a demon, and people are questioning why this man is wandering around with her. And instead of saying, I suck at magic, it's pretty much, hey, he's my partner. So it ends up actually making sense. I end up liking the story a lot, and we have a very strong, wonderful female character in this book who's just passionate about the things she likes doing, and she loves to garden and bake, so I think that's fantastic. And when I was thinking, these cookies were made because of this book, because I was thinking the flowers fit so well with the idea of gardening. So I think these are a perfect match. They're match made in heaven. So if you have not read this one and you're looking for just a classic, like, fake dating type of novel that's not irritating to read about, I highly recommend this one. This one is so cute and so fun to read. And you get these two characters who are, one, trying to find themselves, but they also learn how to communicate with each other. And you also get to see this relationship between them where it doesn't jump directly into, hey, let's date. It's more of, hey, let's, you know, just work together to figure this out, and then we'll see what ends up happening. And I forgot this part, both of them have an end goal, which I think is really fun because it ends up being a fun twist in the book as well. The last book, true classic love. This one is the classic love story, and you're gonna know the author like that. You probably already know who I'm talking about just because I said that. And that's The Wedding by Nicholas Sparks. This was probably my first romance book I ever picked up, and I really loved it. I fell in love with this book because you follow these characters who have been in love and have fallen out of love, and it's the question on if they'll fall back in love together again. And we also follow this older couple who spent their whole world together and their whole life together, and it's beautiful and it's sweet, and we end up finding out about their love and what made their love so special. And this book made me cry, it made me laugh, I fell in love with the characters, and I fell in love with the fact that this was not a perfect love story, but instead it was about how to fall back in love and how to rekindle that relationship. Because that's the thing, friends, family, loving partners, we fell in love with them for a reason. Well, not family, we just love them because they're family. But our friends and partners, we fall in love with them because of a reason. There's a reason behind that love we have. And the one thing I always learn, or that I keep learning through these books that I fall in love with that are about love, is that we as people change. We continue to change over time, and we also change with our partner and with our friends. And if our friends and our partners are willing to change with us, or willing to accept the new person of who we are, because we're not going to stay the same forever. We aren't, and that's a fact. We learn and we grow and we become more every single day. And we want to have people who are going to support that new us who's coming out, and hopefully encourage us to come out more positive and positive every single day. And so we need people around us who are going to continue to encourage that change and to continue to support that change. But we also have to be there for them as well. So that's constantly this give and take idea of love is not always consistent, but love takes a lot of work. And if we continue to focus on those people we fell in love with originally, we can always find more to love about them. That was a ramble, and I hope that made sense. So this one also is absolutely lovely. There are swans in this book, which I thought was really great. And again, I think fit perfectly with these cookies. So those are my 3 sectors. Those are my 3 bakes. I actually baked some other things, but I thought these ones worked best for our kind of genres that we were talking about. So we have our beautiful self-love cookies with some delicious marzipan topping, We have our wonderful classic letters that are whimsical, and then we have our classic love sugar cookies with our beautiful flower petals. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of fun little mashup of bakes and books. I have my books right here, but I can't pick them all up. But we have our bakes and books. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would love to kind of hear about what books and bakes you would mash up if you could, or maybe you have some other books that you would kind of match with these bakes or with the genres that we were talking about. So we have classic whimsical, we have cozy self-love, and then we have our classic love story. I would love to hear if you have any other books that you would recommend. Maybe I need some reads for tomorrow for Valentine's Day, or tonight for Galentine's Day, who knows? And I just wanted to thank you again so much for being here, for being a support, for being awesome. And I hope you have a lovely Galentine's Day. I hope you have a fantastic Valentine's Day, no matter what you're doing. And I would love to actually hear what you guys are doing. Do you celebrate Galentine's Day? Do you celebrate Valentine's? Do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Do you not celebrate either? I would love to kind of hear what your guys' opinions are on Valentine's Day. That'd be fun. That'd be an interesting interaction. I want to know what you guys think about Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day. So I'll leave you there. This one's going to be a quick one, hopefully, and I hope you have a fantastic day, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Until then, ciao!